Okay.
And we're live.
Oh, it's
So
been a
anyway,
minute since I felt that.
I don't know. Did you those moles on your butt? Did you get them off or whatever?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
were
I
we
got that
saying?
taken care
Oh
of.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Tight.
yeah, I got that.
Tight.
Yeah, yeah. I told you in confidence, but yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Oh, I thought that just meant you were confident when you told me that you definitely had a bunch.
Oh, I can. Okay, I see where you messed up. Okay, gotcha.
What's
Yeah,
up?
so this is now all off the record. You will be hearing from my lawyer, and we'll go from there. All right. Pleasure doing business.
Yeah. Can't wait. What's up, guys? My name is Peter, aka your host, aka not Ghost Stories, aka not your host. And we are back again. If you're hearing this, I do not have a title finalized quite yet, but we are very close to narrowing that down. So there will be a title once I have some thumbnail art and everything to post. That'll be the name of the show. Today we have a very good friend of mine, a longtime buddy of mine that I actually met on the internet as well. Content creator, currently taking a little hiatus for work, but maybe we'll be back in the future sometime.
Yeah, March of 2023 is kind of my soft date as of right now. So
And his name is CG, young CG, Chris Bleezy, Jeezy, CG on the track.
all those are correct.
That's all
Yes.
the nicknames that I came up with it on the spot. But we're very happy to have him, and yeah, we're just gonna what's new in the live? What's going on?
Well, in case you guys don't follow my end of like streaming and content stuff, I joined the Air Force in August of 2021, and I've been doing school and kind of learning my job ever since then. So I've been very busy, very I've never been the like biggest person on Twitter, but even so back then I would still tweet every so often, but I've been kind of like just doing my own thing for however long now, and it's definitely given me a time to like mentally reset, cuz like if you ever do content, like if you're wanting to actually like like further yourself in the content world and like actually do it as a job, you do think about it a lot. You think about it more than you would anticipate. So it's been nice to just kind of take a break from everything and kind of mentally reset. And now I'm in a spot in my life where like I'm very happy. Like external outside of the world of content, I'm very happy with where I'm at. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. Um, I'm in Hawaii, so I can't really complain about that. Definite big plus. And yeah, it's a really good I'm in a really good spot in my life, and it took me a long time to get here, but I'm very glad I'm here, and I'm very excited to get back into content whenever I do come back.
Before I forget, please tell everyone where they can find you on whatever you use currently, be it Twitch, socials, or whatever.
Yeah, let me just so on Twitch, my name's gonna be itssCG, and that's spelled ITSS and then CG. That's it. And then I believe my Twitter handle is the same thing because I'm good. Okay, yeah, it's ITSS underscore capital C capital G, and you'll see my face, and my background is a picture of Yugi Moto from the anime cartoon Yu-Gi-Oh! Drawing a dark magician. So that's how you know you're in the right spot.
Also, be sure to send plenty of the baby memes his way. Blow up the DMs. Please tag, hashtag, all that good stuff. Just the baby nonstop up in the inbox as much as you can.
Backstory on that. You love Nick Tana, fellow content creator, decided he was just gonna troll me with the baby pictures and the baby memes. And one time he caught me on stream. I was playing Apex Legends, which is it's my favorite game, one of my favorite games to play. He's like, "Yo, did you see that new Bloodhound buff that they're gonna do?" And at that moment in time, Bloodhound was like really good, and I was like, "What? I haven't heard of that. That's weird." Sure, let me open it, and it's just, I'm in love with the baby. Like, it's just so stupid. So, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, Nick's been on the show as well, and I'm sure he'll enjoy that callback. And he might even act on it, so just as a heads up, But I know you're taking a break, obviously, but how, how is living in Hawaii on a serious note? As someone who's not from there, obviously you're not native
Hmm.
to the area. You're
Yeah.
there in a military presence.
Hmm.
Um, it's a state and everything, but like, how is it? How is it living there? Honestly, like, is it great? Is it expensive? Is it I mean, like, what could you change about it? What would you not want to change? Is there
Yeah.
someplace you want to end up, for 5, 10 years?
Hmm. It just it just kind of depends on the person you are. Like everything you said so far, like yes, it is expensive. Uh, yes, it's honestly it's obviously gorgeous. It's literally a paradise that people save their whole entire lives to try to get to. The traffic here is pretty bad, depending on which way you're going on the island. Honestly, I don't know how people live here if they're not in the military because like the military helps you out. They'll give you extra money. They'll give you a cost of living expense, which kind of helps offset your expenses whenever you're on island. It's great though. I've had a great time so far. The one thing I wish I could change is like the roads here. Some of the roads here are terrible. Like the actual like there's just so many potholes and stuff and it's so bad. And that's definitely not fun. What else? I wish the time zone thing is definitely a big deal because right now I'm on I think it's literally just Hawaii Standard Time and it's 1:48 p.m. for me and you're on the East Coast and it's what 6:48 for you?
6:48 p.m. on
Yeah.
this nice and cold and dark Wednesday in
So
Atlanta.
yeah, so I'm based out of Kansas City, Missouri. So that's Central Standard Time, and even with that, that's without daylight savings time. So fun fact, if you don't know, Hawaii does not participate in daylight savings, so it stays the same time throughout the whole entire year. So it's 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 hard to coordinate and try to talk to family and friends because it's such a drastic difference, and you don't realize it until you come here or you know someone who's in Hawaii because it's hard to like my group chat was popping off today and I actually got to participate today because usually I'm at work and I wouldn't be able to I can't have my phone and work and everything, so I only get to catch up once I'm done at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and by that point it's already like people are in their houses eating dinner, trying to relax, not think about anything for the next, they're trying to relax, it's the last part of their night. So I have to catch up and then I don't really get to participate and stuff like that. But it it's a lot of these little things that can stack up. But I mean, obviously that's a small price to pay when you're in Hawaii, right? I mean, I'm in Hawaii.
One would think. One would think. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So it's just, man. Like, does living there make you like living there and chasing this new career path
Mhm.
and kind of following this new path really that you've set out for yourself? Does
Yeah.
it make you like rethink your interest in making content? Like, do you wake up going, well, like, I miss Twitch, I miss streaming, I miss trying to make videos and live stream with people, but like, this isn't that bad? And
Yeah.
is it a comfort thing, or is it just genuine interest? Like, hey, like, I love the content side of things, and that's a lane I wanted to go down, but maybe I like
Hmm.
this lane better. Maybe this is more interesting to me right now, and I guess
Yeah.
it's something that you want to come back to eventually. Or, I mean, and don't just say, well, yeah, I thought about it, but like, genuinely speaking, is it so much of an interest or a passion that you would want to come back and start playing Apex again on the regular? Not that you don't right now, but on
Hmm.
just like the content side, putting stuff out there.
Yeah, I do miss putting out content and I miss that the grind was looking back, the grind was definitely rough at times. Like I definitely talk to you about it sometimes where it just kind of like wears on you because especially if you play like a big top tier like AAA game, there it's so saturated. And I've been looking at stats on Apex in the Twitch realm, and it's like the number one battle royale that was streamed. It's like the number three game like overall that was streamed. Like it popped off in 2022 in regards to streaming numbers. So it's hard to break out in a game like this, but honestly, I just genuinely I miss just like interacting with people, and I miss just having conversations with people because that was the first thing to do. Like obviously the long-term goal was to like possibly make it a career because I got I felt like I was getting enough positive feedback from people
Mm.
to kind of like what's the word? Definitely back me up in my ambitions like, "Oh, hey, you might have something here." Like people seem to enjoy your stream and they seem to keep coming back and yeah,
Like
it seemed
like
like it was
uh
working.
like reinforcement almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was definitely positive reinforcement on the side of like the viewers and stuff that are like, "Yeah, we love watching you. We love coming to your stream whenever we can." So, but like at this point, now that I have a very nice looking career path ahead of me, I don't I've kind of changed now. I feel like I don't have to make this a career. But obviously a little like side hustle and just a side gig, like streaming when I can, not like killing myself on making content and stuff. Because the big thing for me that I always struggled with was like hitting all the platforms and making content for it. That was always a struggle for me because I always was thinking, I felt like I was thinking way too hard on like how to make content. And a lot of it when you're like a smaller like upcoming streamer is like you need to get your name out there and you need to like hit all the spaces and just put stuff out there for people to see. And I always like I want to put good stuff out there. I want to put stuff out there that's me personally. And for me, like doing the whole like just bombard yourself out there with like I don't know if like artificially made clips is the right word, but like not clips without like my whole soul, like without the appearance of what I would want out there.
Mm.
That was always a big thing for me. So I don't want to put something out there that doesn't reflect me in a way that I think is suiting. So it's like, okay, then I just sit on not making content and then I'd only stream. And that's the best part I enjoyed. I enjoyed streaming the most. The YouTube videos and stuff like that were never like I understood I needed to do it, but it was never really the forefront of my thinking. But now that I'm in a position where it's like, okay, you're going to be set on money now cuz like obviously money is a big motivator for
Oh
a lot of things.
damn. Okay.
So so money's obviously a big motivator for like a lot of people in life, and
Yeah.
now that I really don't have to worry about that right now, I can just worry about like having fun making content again. And that I think was the best version of myself when making content too. So I'm very excited to bring this like, adult not adult version, but like this newer version of myself when it comes to content. And I'm very excited to get back into it.
Because it seemed, just as an observer and a fan
Mhm,
and someone who is in your streams as much as I could be, um,
mhm,
I feel like from the outside looking in, the best streams that I was in always tended to
mhm.
be just chatting. When I say the best
Yeah.
streams, I mean like the most interaction from viewers. It's like
Mhm.
on the outside looking in, it seemed like you were having the most fun. Would
Yeah.
be it like watching, like when you reviewed all of the Crocs,
I
like all
still
of the
tell
Croc
people about that
patterns. Like
stream. Yep.
that was like, I feel
That
like that
was
was
that was
you
a
in your
fun one.
purest
Yeah,
form. So
100%.
it was cool to watch that. And like it's
Yeah.
just like that type of stream I don't feel like I could ever do. It's
Yeah.
just not, like you said, like YouTube's not your calling, but live streaming is where you felt good, like,
Mhm.
or or whatever, you saw
Yeah.
the most return or whatever. But I don't know, man. It just like you seem like the most comfortable and the most confident at the same time doing the just chatting, just like kicking it. People are just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Those always seem very busy and interactive, and I don't know. I liked those streams a lot.
I liked doing those streams too, because like at that point, like I couldn't. It was either I was kind of burnt out on just playing games all the time for stream, because like whenever you're a streamer that's like a gamer, it's like you can fall into either like they're really entertaining or like you're really good.
Yeah.
And I felt like I fell right in between the middle of those things, because I'm an above average player in Apex. Like we made diamond this season, and
That's above average for
since
sure.
new rank change it, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Dude, diamond's
Since
above
the new,
average, especially right now. I feel like
yeah,
that's pretty good.
yeah, it's at the, I think it's at like 15,000 RP or whatever it is, which used to be like masters plus 5,000. So like I managed to find myself a nice little squad, and we do fairly well for ourselves. We could always do better, but I mean that's just how
It's comp.
competitive. That's just how like competitive like anything is. You
Right.
always know you can do better, um, but at that point I was definitely burnt out, and I had done couple just chatting streams, and they seemed to work really well, and people liked them. And yeah, it was at that point it was just like a break from the monotony. But now looking back too, those were, like you said, those were some of the most fun streams I've definitely done, and it was just easy.
It was
It
easy.
just it
That's
felt
exactly what it
effortless
was. It
doing it.
looked
Yeah,
very easy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't mean to interrupt there, but yeah,
No, no, absolutely. You're fine.
it was cool. It was just like a kickback. It was to use Nick Tana's verbiage, it was a kickback. It was just
That's the perfect way of
we're
putting
just
it too.
hanging
That's
out,
yeah.
and you were just like whatever came to mind, whatever came to chat. You're like, yeah, let's look this up. Let's watch this video.
hmm That's what I loved, when chat would interact and like actually like propose something for us to watch or something like that. That was the best part, because then the chat's interacting like completely. Because sometimes they're just like reacting to what you're doing, but then chat actually like going out of their way to be like, "Hey, watch this," or like, "Hey, what about this?" Like keeping that conversation and keeping those like subjects coming in. That's definitely the best.
Right. Man, just chatting. I mean, your Cuphead streams obviously your second best stream all time, probably.
Yeah, that was honestly, I missed that. And then our Halo legendary
Yeah.
walkthrough was
Let's talk about Halo 2
pretty
Legendary right
quick.
now and why it is simultaneously the hardest game ever created. That was so
Oh,
much harder than I remember, and it took us so much
so like,
longer than I
yeah,
wanted
and
it
as
to.
a Halo fan, I played Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach, Halo 4. I didn't play 5, and I haven't played Infinite really. But I would say I was a Halo fan, and I never played a legendary campaign. I just like never got around to it. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is like the co-op. Like that was one of those games that was
So fun.
really good at co-op.
So fun.
So the fact that we did that was fantastic, and the shenanigans that ensued, oh, so funny. The
I mean,
clips, there were some top tier clips for sure.
there's this moment where we're playing and you're talking about some video like, yeah, this guy he's playing the campaign, he's showing the video where he would die in like 1.3 seconds right after the level started, and then immediately happened to us. Like the level started and he just died instantly, and there's nothing you can do. Like there was nothing you could do. I just like, I don't understand if that was just part of it. They're like, hey, every 8th death, make the 9th death impossible to escape. Like it's in the coding. You're not getting away. It's over.
Yep.
But I mean, Halo was what? I mean, Halo was the original. That's the I feel like that's the co-op game. Anyone born in the 90s, probably. I mean, even late 90s, early 2000s, maybe even. Like that's the.
I'm trying to think of another like really iconic co-op game, and nothing really comes to mind off the bat.
Yeah,
honestly.
Co-op
like the
games.
co-op experience was such a hard thing to make, and to make it good potentially, like, but that was like the golden era of like split screen and stuff. Like there was James Bond GoldenEye back in the day on N64, where you could split screen and torture your friends by picking odd job. But
there's nothing, man, there's nothing really like that anymore, I feel. And
no,
I know this is just a
co-op
couple of
doesn't
old
even
guys like
exist.
reminiscing on
Yeah.
games, but I mean, okay,
Good old days,
I'm the
yeah.
old guy, but there's no there's no like where you log in and you join and there's this unwritten rule and everyone knows you don't pick odd job or you don't pick up the golden gun. You know what I mean? There's no screen peeking. It was these little, I don't even know what to
Those
call
little
them.
nuances
Yeah.
that came with that. Yeah.
It's like you just know. And then
Yeah.
I was actually talking to Nick about this, about how like your KD used to be social currency. So
That was a badge of honor in your friend group.
Right.
And then if it's like, oh yeah, you think your friend's good? Well, my friend has this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's like the champion of the group almost.
Right.
It was like it was a badge of honor. It was a bragging right back in the day.
And you cash in and you take a photo. You take a photo on your little flip phone to prove it.
Yep.
And that was like social currency. And that's like a way to, because we're talking about, you know, why people play games, and I mean, that may be a good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's how you could make friends. So you might not be the star on a sports team or anything like that, and you're not the smartest, you're not the bright, you know, I was to say brightest, but like you have a good KD, and that might have earned you friendship when you're younger, which is great. I mean, now it's
because then it'd be like, oh, you're that good, okay, we should play sometime.
Yeah.
And then you go from there, and then you meet other people, and then it goes on and on.
Because then you'd be like, oh, like, how are we splitting up teams? Well, you know, Johnny can't have Martin on his team because that's totally unfair. So like, you got to put you know, shitty Seth on that guy's team because he's like the guy who doesn't play.
And then Brandon, it's always fucking Brandon too, you know,
who's just mid, but it's his house, so everyone has to be nice to him. Like,
he's
the only one whose mom would let him bring over 8 kids. Stay up till midnight.
And they have the 4 CRTs, so it's like, they're the house to go to.
Yeah. And then they always give, and then you have to decide who gets the crappy controller, so you always give it to the best person. And there's always one button that doesn't work. He's like, I can't even reload.
There's a button that doesn't work. You can't click it into sprint.
Yeah.
One of the shoulder buttons so sticky, you have to use all your force to like press it down, and it's even half the time it works. Oh,
so good. Like, it doesn't.
Or the wire, because like we lived in an era where it's always wired, right? Yeah. So there's that one cord. It's like, okay, so you have to rest it on top of this chair, and it can't move from this angle, and then it works perfect.
Yeah,
dude, it's the best controller.
Because it would disconnect if the wire dropped below a certain height.
And you'd hear the noise, like you'd hear like the noise for whatever system it is, and it'd be like, controller disconnected. You'd be like, son of a. Brandon, you told me this was a good controller.
Give it to shitty Seth. He's only got 2 kills anyway. Like, god damn it, you know. Man, but you wonder, why did that go away? Is that because everyone gets older, or is that because technology is now where we don't have to go to someone's houses and lug all of our equipment with us?
It's definitely both, right?
Yeah.
Like the access to technology, the speed of which technology, you know, gets increasingly better and better. And then the age of internet has definitely, you know, grown immensely. As a person who kind of works in that world now, it's wild how fast we grew this internet, the thing that connects us all. It's crazy what we can do compared to like 20 years ago, right?
Right.
Like it's wild the things that we're allowed to do, and that it's just like, oh, this should be working. Like, this is just like a standard thing that everyone has now.
Right.
Like, I could just like call up someone in Australia and be like, dude, why is ping on 70 right now? This is ridiculous.
Who's the party leader? Oh, it's shitty Seth who lives in Auckland, New Zealand now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, like we just expect that. Like, that's just like a certainty at this point, which is wild to think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the era of LAN parties, like you said, you go over to a friend's house, you bring your system, and then you guys all play together. That's the only thing you could do.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, if that was the only option. I mean, the only time I really remember actually like playing online games was, I guess, Halo 2 was the first time I was really permitted access.
That was also my first ever online multiplayer game.
Yeah, I was never allowed to play like a Counter-Strike or anything like that. It was a little too early, where my parents were like, you shouldn't be hanging out with strangers on the internet.
That was definitely that age of, you know, there's that stigma of, oh, everyone's weird that you meet on the internet. You don't want to see anyone that's on the internet.
Right.
they're all, they're all pedophiles, or like they're all just like people that dwell in their basement and play
Right.
D&D all the time.
Right.
It's like, no, that's not at all the only
Couldn't be further from
audience.
the truth. I mean, there's some truth
Yeah.
to it, but not the majority.
Obviously, yeah, some truth, but
Right.
like it's a minority compared to all the.
Yeah. So Nick did ask us a good question, and that was why do you play games? And I hadn't really thought about it until he asked
Mhm.
it outright, but it's actually a pretty good question, and yeah, I wanted to, I guess, get your opinion on it or
Yeah.
see what they meant.
Um let's see, for me, it's weird cuz I grew up, cuz like usually like the sports jock world doesn't really traditionally mesh with like the gaming world, right? But I seem to have found myself in a place where I did both growing up, where I would go outside like all the time and ride bikes and, like hang out with my friends, play sports and everything. And then it was like, I think when we borrowed the Nintendo 64 from like a family friend because they weren't using it, that's when I was introduced to games, and I was like, oh shit, this is amazing. And then I just got hooked from there. And I guess what keeps me playing games is it's just so fun. It's so addicting. I get to be something else. Like for instance, I'm playing The Witcher 3 right now again because it's a fantastic game, but like I get to be a witch hunter and I get to kill monsters and like save the world and stuff. I don't know. It's You get to be something else and you get to turn your mind off from like whatever's happening in the world. Like for instance, if the one thing that can get you out of the world in your personal world, that's like, maybe you have something going on that's really stressful, maybe you have not a great environment around you, but you can go to games and there's always something you can do in the game, right? And then also you can make some incredible friends from gaming too. Like I've made some lifelong friends. Like one being you. Like I would have never met you. I would have never ever met you unless for a game. And it was from a third party too. I didn't even meet you directly. I met you through someone else, which is crazy. And I don't know, it's just part of my DNA at this point. Like I love gaming. I
Right.
always will. I will never stop gaming. I can't. I don't think I mean I physically could. I've done it, but
It
I
is. That
hate it.
sucks.
It sucks. It fucking sucks, man. Not having games around me, I just feel empty. And I don't know if that makes me, I don't know. People can take that as they want, but for me, gaming is such a big part of me, and it's how I identify like myself. Like I'm equally like I'm pretty athletic. I was a all-state swimmer for 3 years in high school, had college offers. Um, According to one of my teammates, we did make like third team All-American one year. I don't know if that's true or not, but we
Sounds
swam
good.
pretty fast.
No one's gonna
We swam
fact check
pretty
it.
fast. Yeah, right. We did swim pretty fast that year, so I'm just gonna take it and run with it. And then played baseball for 16 years, and then yeah, like but it's, I guess, the competitive spirit for me too. I've always had that like competitive bug. Like I want to be good. Like I never want to be. I guess a big thing is too. Like I never want to be the worst on a team. I never want to be the guy that everyone just shits on. It's like, why we lost, right? It's because of that kid.
Shitty
Never want to
Seth,
be the
dude. Yeah.
shitty Seth. Yeah, don't be a shitty Seth. um, but yeah, going back to the original question, it's just like, why do I game? It's just part of me. I love it. I love what I can do in games. I love what people can make for games, and I love playing them. Uh, yeah, it's just a great way to pass my time. And obviously, some people will take not offense to that, but they'll be, oh, you're wasting your time. It's just gaming. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, it does, though. It does to me and a lot of people.
A
So,
lot of people.
yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, the wasting of the time is always an interesting argument.
Mhm.
especially from like hearing it from your peers or friends that don't really get it, and they don't
Yeah.
have to get it. But I always
Mhm.
love to. It's like, man, it's crazy you play that many video games. It's just like still today now, the stigma is it's a waste of time, and I always push back and just say, well, how much TV do you watch? Because
Exactly. Like, how much Keeping Up with the Kardashians do you watch?
it's
Like, I can make the same argument.
it, and I'm gonna argue every time too that I don't know what it is. Like I still don't know what it is. There's this. It's not eliteness. It's not. It's like, oh, you play games. Like, oh, like it's a lesser thing. It's like this lesser hobby or
Yeah,
interest.
like, they're
But I'm
I
like,
guess
I don't.
elitist, like you said, is kind of, like, on that path of what you're trying to say. Like, they
Right.
think they're better. It's like, "Oh, well, at least I don't play games." It's like, what does that mean?
What does that mean? My favorite one that my favorite for whatever reason makes me think of this comment I saw in a random Instagram video one
Mhm.
time, and it was this kid. It was a young kid, like under 12, 11, maybe 10. I don't know. Young kid. He
Mhm.
was on a little dirt bike, and he goes off a jump on his dirt bike. Little jump, lands it, and this guy, probably some old guy, just like he's like, and look what he can do because he doesn't sit inside and play video games all day.
That's, like, such a stray bullet for
And
no
for
fucking
no
reason.
reason
Like,
because it's such an
why?
easy. And then someone underwrote one, he probably does both, and two, what the hell good is this skill? Like, you know what I mean? It's like the point is it's an interest. Cool, he went off a jump on a dirt bike, and sorry to anyone who rides dirt bikes and goes off jumps, that's great. But you can't, for the same reason you think gaming is a waste of time, I think learning how to jump off jumps on a dirt bike is a waste of fucking time.
Well,
If you're
I
gonna if
mean,
you're gonna
yeah,
if you're gonna
like,
bash it, if you're gonna bash it, but
yeah,
if
if
it's
you're
your
gonna bash it,
interest, if it's your
yeah,
interest and it's a
exactly.
hobby and it's what you like doing, and I could totally understand and respect going fast, being outside, all of that good stuff,
Yeah.
then great.
Get
Then I should never
yeah.
ever like. But why is that better than the other thing, right? Like,
Guess
what makes
people
that better?
it's always the thing that people, like, just can't see through other people's perspective sometimes, right?
Right.
Like, that's just the age-old thing where it's like, "Well, I don't see why people do it because I don't do it." It's like, because other people don't have to like the same things you like, dummy. Like,
Right.
that's just kinda how, oh, I don't know, humans work. Not everyone's the same.
Right.
Like,
But
so, like,
for whatever reason, gaming is just it's got this like sub level
yeah,
status where no matter what
yeah,
the activity is, at least it's not
mhm,
games. I can't tell. I mean, I still hear it. I still hear
I
it
know.
from friends and
It's
family.
definitely within, I would say, the last, like, 5 years or so, like, it's definitely becoming a lot better. Like, people are realizing, like, "Oh, you can make money off playing video games for a living. Oh, okay." It's like, "Oh." I think more people are finally being more comfortable to, like, admitting they play games too. I feel like it's starting to really, you could argue it's becoming mainstream because, like, there's a bunch of video game TV shows
It's
now,
definitely
and,
mainstream. Definitely.
honestly, like, Fortnite definitely helped with all these, like, superstars, like, playing the game, and, um, trying to think, Warzone is definitely a big game too. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of these games that are bridging the gaps between, like, mainstream and then the gaming world. Because there's definitely, like, a little gap in between those 2.
Right.
We're not there yet. I don't know if we'll ever be there, but, um, yeah, I don't know. But like you said, they look down on gaming for some reason, and it's just
I, I wish I
I
understood
don't
how
get
it
it.
started, and
Yeah.
I mean, it had to have started when gaming started, and maybe it's like
Yeah.
a culture that's came from arcades, like, oh, you go there, you waste
Mhm.
time and you waste money playing games, or maybe it was after
Yeah.
the first home consoles that came out. For whatever reason, and it's always put under activities like watching TV, and I was like, if anything makes you a zombie, it's sitting there with your mouth open watching rewatching The Office for the ninth time, which I've done,
Yeah.
and I'll say it's less productive than playing games with your friends. um, it's still
'Cause, like,
fun,
you're
but like,
actually having social interactions, you're talking with people,
right,
you know, like,
you're solving problems like
Yeah, depending on what
critical
game you're
thing. You know
playing,
what I
you're
mean?
using your
Yeah.
brain and actually like having to solve something. Yeah, exactly.
And so I don't get it. And I was never really. I feel like growing up, I was never. I don't think I ever really had the courage to defend it like I do now, or even
Hmm.
like the courage to share with people. Just maybe that was the environment that I was in. You know, graduating
Hmm.
college, working in a big like metropolitan tech companies. Everyone was
Yeah.
talking about life, family, post school. Where are you gonna live? Can you afford a house? Are
Yep.
you gonna buy a house? Like, who are you dating? Where are you gonna get married? You know, like all that life. And I was like, dog, I'm just trying to like jump in with 4 people on Battlefield tonight. Like, I'm not. That to me
I'm
seems so much more fun
yeah.
than what you're trying to do
Yeah,
right
like, I'm
now.
trying to prep for the raid night
Yeah,
tonight, my dude. Like, I
exactly.
don't know
Like,
what you want from me.
we can't get down this last boss. Like, that seems. And for me, the conversations felt so dry. I'm like, dude, this is so boring. Like, it just
Mhm.
for me, it's not boring objectively. It was just boring for me, and I
Yeah.
just like I couldn't break away from it. And like, man, I would rather meet up with all the homies and try to do whatever our collective task was, or just
Yeah.
be shitheads and play Fall Guys for 4 hours. And
Yeah.
like, so many good memories from that. Now, I love my friends. I
Yeah.
love all my best friends in real life. I'd do anything for them. And we've all taken different paths. I get it. That's
Mhm.
fine. But I've never talked down. I feel like I've never talked down to their hobbies in person, and I definitely have been on the receiving end. And it
Okay.
sucks, man. It sucks because it's just like,
Yeah.
and it's taken a much longer, and I've had to defend myself much more, um,
Yeah.
in public even, and just
Mhm.
and like, how can you, like, we're never gonna let our kids play games. I'm just like, why are you making me feel like trash at the same time? Like, I don't care. Maybe that's
Yeah,
not what they're
that's
into.
you catching, like, yeah, that's you getting a stray bullet from, "Well, we're never gonna let our kids play games." Like, why would you need to say that? Like,
Right. I was like,
you don't have to tell me how you're gonna raise your kids to me. Like, I don't like,
right,
I don't
right,
need that bullet by bullet, like,
right,
checklist. I really
right.
don't.
Yeah. And it's just, I'm like, man, and maybe I'd say every generation is going to say that they grew up in the golden era, but I really think we kind of did, as far as games.
We
Like,
had a good time at least.
we've
I'm
seen
gonna
from
argue that we
basically
had
the
some of the
start.
best times.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I feel like we've seen the most growth because we're starting with Gen 1 Game Boys to PC games where they're at now. And I
Yeah.
feel like people born now are starting off with PC games as they are now, and maybe the next thing is going to be even crazier. It's hard to picture it, but I don't know. It's just just to touch on what you're saying, it's just such an important part. It's just so, it's the best. I don't know how else to explain it. It's the best.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's,
I could argue, like, if you could, I mean, in-game achievements, like, some of them for me are just as important as, like, out-of-game achievements. Like, if I ever hit masters, like, I'm gonna brag to all my friends that play Apex, like, "Yeah, dude, I hit masters on Apex rank, dude, and it's the hardest to
it's
ever rank
so hard.
this rank system's ever been." Like, that's the level that pros get to in this game.
It's so hard.
And it's like, I
You,
did that as a part-timer, essentially. Like, I'm
right,
not playing 8 hours a day because I physically can't,
right.
and I still did that. It's like,
Yeah. And yeah. And people who don't
'cause it's
play
important
won't
to
get it.
me, and it's just
Right.
like, it goes back to your interest thing, like, those are some of my interests, so that's really important to me, and that's something I'm striving towards. Like, I eventually wanna get to that, and I take time out of my day to try to do that. Like, I watch Apex streams. I mean, I just love the game in general, but I love watching Apex streams and the pro scene and everything like that. Like, esports is just as fun to watch as, like, normal sports that I'm interested in. Like, it's fun. It's fun as hell.
Yeah. Esports is great.
Mhm.
You know, it's funny seeing esport sections in sports betting apps, and you're looking at it
Yep.
like, okay, wow, this is actually, how could you argue this now? You
Yeah.
know, how could you argue this isn't a sport, technically speaking? But that was pretty wild to see. Just downloaded
Mhm.
a sports. Have you ever bet on sports before? I've never done it until this year for the first time.
I have never done it, and I don't think I ever will. It's just one of my good friends from back home, he actually He recently got a job at a casino as like one of their sports betting people. I don't know at what capacity he's like working, but like he's there
Whoa.
for like the sports betting side at a casino in Arizona, which is crazy.
What is that job like?
I don't know, but it seems pretty sick. It's like right up his alley because he's been sports betting for a long time. So it's like it's basically not even work for him. So, but I don't know if I could because there's so much uncertainty and like it takes one day for the like team that's supposed to win to just have a bad day, or the one time that team that's underdog just plays out of their damn mind, and it's just
Right.
that's the one
There's no
day I bet
guarantees.
$1,000 on something. That's that one
Right.
day, and then it's like, oh, okay, so I just lost all that money. Great.
I'm not a gambler by any means. I was like, I think it'd be
Yeah.
fun to try one time. I think it's yeah. So I downloaded an app. I put in $100. I was like, win or lose, $100 is the maximum I'm going to play with for the whole season. If I can get it, cool. If I
Okay.
can't, I'm just writing off this $100. I'm never going to see it again. I've accepted that.
Okay. Have you kept to that?
No, it's
Or
gone. No, I mean, no, I haven't put any more in, but I did lose all
okay,
$100.
okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
lost 100 and uninstalled it right away. I was like, no,
Okay.
we're out.
Yeah, because that's a slippery slope where
Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
no, I could have. If I would have just done this, I would have definitely gotten it. Okay, let's just put another 100 in, and
dude,
then it
that's
goes and goes and goes.
yes, yeah, because it's the second you lose, and it always felt like I lost. So the way that these ones were set up, it was like you were betting on individual performances of players. So
Okay.
this player is going to throw for 250 yards. This player is going to
Mhm.
rush for 2 touchdowns today. This player, and then you would bet the over under. So it's going to be
Yeah.
more than 2 touchdowns. It's going to be less than 250 yards. It's going to be more than 1 interception. And it always felt like these, however they figure out the odds, whatever mathematicians, because it's got to be like the greatest, statisticians ever that do all these money lines.
Yeah.
It always felt like I was losing by the smallest margins, which would immediately make me want to go, oh, okay, well, I can get on the next one because look how close it was.
Yeah.
That means I can win it back on the next game for like a very similar bet. And when I like felt that, I was like, okay, this is probably insanely addicting, and I got to get away from this because.
Yeah.
But that's how it felt, right? Like you would lose by 10 yards, you would lose by a catch. You would lose by 1/2 of whatever. And
yeah.
it's just like, damn, they just know. it's just crazy. And but it did make the games more fun. I can't argue against that, but it's probably ruined so many lives. Like, not to be a downer, but
Oh, it definitely does.
yeah, it was scary how how addicting it felt in the moment, because you would want to get it back right away.
Yep.
Yeah, not cool. Don't do it. Stay in school.
No. Yeah. Stay in school. Don't do drugs, kids.
All your
Yeah.
dreams, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you should try it though, just once. Just like
I don't know about that. I'm technically living under the poverty line, so I don't think I have the expendable income to actually
this
do
is
that,
perfect.
to be
Then you can
completely
become,
honest.
you can get above it by betting it all and winning big, right? Don't do it though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I think I'm a politely decline from that.
yeah. But
We'll see.
how's
We'll
the
see.
family then? On top of everything,
Family's good.
Have
yeah.
they been out to visit you?
They have not been here to visit yet. That is potentially Christmas or like right after Christmas for 2023. So that'll be a fun time.
Do you get to go back at all?
Yeah, so I'm actually going back. What are my days? I'm gonna go back at the end of February, through like the first weekend of March, because I turned 30 on March 1st. So I'm going to go back home and celebrate with the family and friends.
It's a big birthday.
It's a big birthday, which I don't feel like. I don't know how it came up that quick. I really don't.
It only gets faster, I swear.
I know. Like, I feel like I was 22, 23, like not even that long ago. And here I am, 29, about to turn 30, and it's crazy.
It just keeps getting faster. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but it feels that way. And you'll like try to remember, you'll have these memories of your 20s, like these really, really good memories. You're going
Mhm.
like, wait, that was when I was 25. What happened between 26 and 29? Like, what was I doing? Or, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's bizarre. It is really weird, that sensation. What are you guys gonna do for it?
Don't know yet. I think I'm just gonna spend time with my family on the actual day, and then I'll have that weekend. So hopefully, my friends and I can organize something where I can see all of them because it's so hard to. Because, like you said, like once you get older, everyone kind of does their own separate thing, and luckily, everyone's still in the same city, so no one has to like fly in or anything. I'm the only one
Right.
that's out of town at this point. So it's just organizing and getting everyone on the same page is the hardest part. So I'm sure me coming back home it will be enough motivation for people, and then we can go from there. But that's the plan. I just want to see friends and family and a few people back home, and then just kind of chill out and relax,
So
and not have to worry about work, not have to worry about maintaining my standards here in Hawaii. Because in the military, you have to keep a certain dress and appearance, and you have to you know
stay in
make
shape.
sure you're stay in shape, obviously, and then just make sure you're on your toes, make sure you're doing all the right customs and courtesies to everyone, and just so on and so forth. There's a bunch of little things, but truly turning my mind off will be so nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
And your family's fun. Like it's a fun
Yeah, I
environment
have a
over there.
I tell people all the time I got so lucky in the family lottery because they're the best. I'm so
They
happy
really are.
I
Like
get to call them my family.
that visit that we had with them was
Mm,
like so silly but so fun.
yep,
And it was
that's
just a good
about it.
time, man. It was a good time. I appreciate that a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. I'm glad you got to see them and experience them.
Well, cool, man. Any we're about at the 47 minute mark here. Any thoughts, questions, comments, things you're seeing in the industry, not in the
Hmm.
industry, anything else? It won't be the last
Um.
episode, but that will have you
Yeah,
on for
of
sure.
course.
So
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. I guess for you, one little thing is, have you ever thought about how Twitch has kind of not been great to its creators in some regards? And have you ever thought, like, I mean, YouTube's out there and it seems like they're thriving and doing pretty well with the streaming game, and it's not like the little brother that gets picked on, as much anymore.
right.
Like, it can definitely defend itself when it comes to streaming now. So, has that ever crossed your mind of potentially in a future move, maybe moving to YouTube or anything like that?
I'll say first that I I guess now I'm never surprised at how large tech companies treat their users.
Mm-hmm.
More
I
specifically on the
yeah,
creator side of things. I've
yeah.
worked at. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, so I've worked in very large, very famous tech companies. Like everybody knows the brands. That's not a flex. I'm just saying that's where I graduated from college, where I ended up working, just in that environment. And the Twitch's creators are not the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Just like anybody who anybody who works on a platform, and I'll just say as an independent contractor, so 1099. Every creator on Twitch is a 1099. Maybe not the
Yep,
partners. I don't know how that works, but
that's true. Yeah.
while simultaneously, you see that argument all the time. People go, well, if it wasn't for us, you'd have no content. That's true. But there's a lot of creators, and there's a lot of creators who also don't care. So they're like, yeah, do whatever you want, make whatever changes you want. I don't care. Like, I'm going to stream regardless. You have
Mm-hmm.
that segment of people. Their focus is the users, because the user is what brings money into the website. So like the biggest creators get all the perks because that's what keeps people on the site. Keeps coming, the majority of people coming back to the site. I'm sure it's I'm sure like the top 10% of creators owns 80+% more of the traffic that comes in.
Okay.
That'd be
yeah.
my guess. Some kind of number like that. Where it's a really small percentage of creators that drives the most traffic. So they're like, it's a business. They're there to make money. They're there to cater to the most successful people because that's what gets everyone paid. And that's what helps all the employees at Twitch, which there are a lot of, pay for their house and their food and their families. So it's not like it's not their focus to take care of affiliates, which is why this job is hard.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like, it's just not, because it's not going to keep the lights on. As sad as that sounds, I think if you accept that more quickly, you'll spend less time complaining about the platform and more time learning how to play the game a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think
That's a very good point.
I think YouTube's like, you could sit there and complain and like, oh, like you don't care about affiliates and my content, I don't even own it, blah, blah, blah. Or you could go, okay, you're changing the rules. How do I need to play this game now? And while YouTube is in this position, at least for live streaming, it's very early on. So I think there's some people going, I kind of see where the direction that Twitch is going. I'll still keep it. I still think Twitch is a better live streaming platform, just in terms of tools, interface, and someone's going to be like, you're crazy, whatever. I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, they just have a lot of cool stuff that you can do for your viewers. And that's where the majority of live streaming traffic goes anyway, is Twitch. I do think that YouTube is probably going to be the better move long term in terms of everything. And so like I'm a very small streamer.
Yep.
So I have to sit back and go, okay, is it a better use of time instead of streaming 3 days a week? Why don't I stream 1 to 2 days a week and make videos instead? Learn how to get really good at editing, learn how to and practice making long form content, 0 to 20 minutes, or like 5 to 20 minutes, whatever you want to call long form anymore. I don't know. Yeah. And like, would it be better for me to stream, but like focus on Twitch streaming more as a, hey, one time a week, 2 times a week, I'm turning on the go live button. I have 0 expectations. I know that I'm not going to grow on Twitch purely out of discoverability on the Twitch platform because I'm playing saturated games and like there's established people in all the top games already. So it's going to be really hard to take new viewers from that. You go, okay, I'm just going to accept that. And it's just going to be a time for me to hang out with with basically your biggest supporters. Yeah. You know, the people that have subbed for 40 months. You know, this is kind of your time to thank them and hang out with them. Yeah. And play a game and kick it and talk to them a little bit and learn about their life. As you should anyway. If you have a following, you should invest in your followers 100%. Yeah. And just view it as that and less of a, okay, I'm going to stream for 3.5 hours and I got to have all these different overlays and I'm going to do a bunch of giveaways on the stream. And like, I want to earn 5 followers today. I don't know that, like, is that the best? Should I stream 4 days a week? No, I don't think so. I think I thought that when I started, but I'm not. I'm just not growing on Twitch, playing the games that I'm playing. You know, I'm growing, but very slowly. But the most, like my biggest fans, and I'll put that in quotes, but the longtime supporters are always there. So I'm kind of viewing it now this year in my 3rd or 4th year. I just need to maybe just view that as a time to get back to them as much as I can, hang out with those folks, play games. So I'm still having fun, but like having no expectations of growth on Twitch, and focus on platforms like YouTube and TikTok for long form. So I spend more time making videos and growing those platforms because that's what's. And if you're looking for money, that's probably your better options right now. YouTube and Twitch, if you can build any kind of followings, YouTube and TikTok. Yep. That's probably your better options right now. If that's what you're in it for, like that's probably where you should go. I don't think Twitch is going to die anytime soon. I still think it's a really good streaming platform, and that's where a lot of the traffic is, if not most of it. But it's hard to grow on Twitch, man. It is.
It's so hard because there's so many people trying out the whole streamer thing now, and it's just, it's just more people you have to, I guess, quote unquote, fight against for people's view.
Totally. I just think it's, for me, not for everybody, but for me, I'm leaning now toward like maybe it's a better use of time to just create more short form and long form content. And if I happen to get spill over into live streams, cool, but not make live streaming so much of the I guess focus, like trying to drive everything to a live stream, but rather here's my content. If you think it's good and you want to hang out, I stream 1 to 2 days a week. You can come say hi. I'll say what's up. It's kind of like I was talking to Nick about it. It's like more like a bonus, because I'm not posting streams. I'm just trying to pull clips from them. But that's just me. That's like that's what I'm doing. It's not for some people. That's exactly what they do, and it works, which is great. But for me, like maybe it's just more like a hey, once a week, let's gather all the people who are the biggest friends to the stream and myself, and let's like hang out for 2 hours, and then I'll see you guys the next week, next Wednesday or whatever. That's kind of what I've been struggling with, because I was getting super discouraged just pouring more hours into live streaming and trying to improve it and make it better. But then you're not supposed to, but the expectations creep in, and if you're consistently not seeing anything, I don't know, like you shouldn't give up, but at some point there's also paths that don't lead anywhere. And that's like when it gets hard, when you have to go, okay, well, I'm not giving up, but I got to give up on this specific. I got to stop wasting my time on this path and try another one.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at. So I'm not done with live streaming. It just doesn't, I guess it's just not going to be my number one focus of trying to grow the live stream and drive people to it. But maybe treat it truly more like a hangout or a kickback, and just say, as I stream once, maybe 2 times a week, here's a game I'll be playing. I'm going to try to record some footage for clips and stuff. You want to say, hey, cool. If you want to sub, awesome. You don't need to. I'll, you get all these emotes and stuff, but like the best way to support me is to promote other content, Yeah. I would never want people to think their subs are wasted, but, come just know that live streaming, maybe I'm not giving your sub, maybe I'm not giving you your $5. And that sucks. So sometimes I feel that way. I don't know if you've ever felt that way. Like you get a sub and you're like, I streamed twice this month. Like, I feel like I've let you down. Like this sucks, but I'm not, but I'm also not giving it my all. So I don't know, man. It's just, I kind of ranted there, but these are the thoughts that creep in. Like there's just so much self-doubt all the time. Like, am I doing enough for people? Like you've subbed to me for 22 months. Yeah. Holy shit. Like, did I give you 22 months worth of entertainment or friendship? Like, did I do enough for you? Like, do I deserve that? Is it worth your money? I don't know. It's hard. This shit's hard. It's a hard job, man.
It is. I feel like that's an older person perspective, like people who are above the age of like 18 to 22 who really are just beginning, like we're definitely in the thick of it. Like we're about to be both in our 30s at this point, so we have a different outlook on everything. So we think about those things, I think, a little bit more than potentially the younger set of content creators, right?
Yeah, I could, I can't speak to everyone, but
obviously, I don't. Everyone doesn't fall in this category.
Right, and I guess it's just like sometimes I see people who drop a sub and I go, that's $5 out of your pocket, not thanks for the sub. It's like sometimes I feel like, okay, you've given me $5, I've got to be able to give you your $5 back in some way. Like, can I make you laugh? Like, are you gonna have a good memory here? Like, people in the chat treating you treating you correctly and respectfully.
Yeah.
Like, did you sub and then I just didn't give you any communication and went and ghosted everyone for two weeks? Was that worth your $5? No, not in my opinion. But I don't know, man. I think you might be right about that. It might be interesting to like talk about how people view subscriptions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of went off the trail there a little bit.
Seems it's been on your mind, so I'm glad you got to speak it.
Man. It has. It's hard. It's hard, and this is not for the faint of heart. This pursuit at all, and so many people think it's just sitting in front of a computer, and a lot of the times it is. But you're not just playing games. Like it's there's so much more involved. Scenes, I think people realize.
Yeah, true. They won't know it unless they do it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, that might be a good place to wrap up.
Yeah, absolutely. Time flew by.
Yeah, that actually went crazy fast. Well, I was yelling like a crazy person at the end, but that wasted time. But I really appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a pleasure to catch up. It's we don't talk enough, and I know we're busy, but I'll keep saying it. Remind everyone where they can find you, and if you have any plans upcoming for content stuff, if you're still on a break, which is totally cool, and where they can connect with you in the meantime.
Yeah, so on Twitter it's going to be itssCG, and it's spelled ITSS_CG. Like I said, if you find the Dark Magician in the background, you're in the right spot. On Twitch it's going to be the same thing except no underscore, so itssCG. And March 2023, once I go back home, I can grab a few things from my home setup that I had, bring them to Hawaii, and then I am good to start streaming again, and I'm very excited to do so. So that's kind of the tentative date right now, and yeah, until then I'll be on Twitter just kind of randomly, and if I also have a Discord too. So yeah, if you ever are bored, I guess, you want to join it, I mean, you can join it. So
don't forget the baby memes. Do not stop the flow. Please fill up all of his inboxes with the baby.
Once I have that first stream, there better be just like the baby lyrics or something in chat. I don't know.
You got to make it emo, man. You got to get an emo.
I'll have to see if I can have someone work on that.
And as a reminder, if you guys are listening to this, these episodes for this first season, they're all going to be banked in advance. So the current events may not always be current at the time that you're hearing it. And we will have a name finalized in the next episode or two, as well as potential release dates. But much love. And until next time, this is, this is us. This is him. I might cut that. Who knows, man? I don't know.
Thank you for inviting me on the show. It was fun talking. It was fun being candid and talking like this.
Oh yeah, so. Yeah. Well, we're for sure gonna do it again. So
yeah, that'd be great.
Cool, man. All right, peace.